It's October the 1st. Walt Disney World is now 50 years old, and we are 50 shows old too. Thanks for joining the celebration, and for those who join our live shows via YouTube and Facebook, we are live on those platforms today, 1st of October. If you're listening during the daytime, we're on in the evening, so go and check us out. We are there. But welcome to the podcast. And what a show we've got in store this month. And as much as Disney want to celebrate their 50th, it's such a proud, memorable achievement for us in the podcast world too. So to those of you listening from the very start, a huge thank you. If you're listening for the first time, we've got loads more going on. Go and check our socials out at GB Mickey Waffle if you haven't done so already. We've got Facebook groups, the Wafflers Arms. We've got loads of stuff on YouTube. We've also got cruise vlogs galore from Ben and Becca, Peter and Jill. And we're going to be able to just enjoy chatting about that tonight. But hey, enough of me waffling to start with. Let's get this into a big celebration. First of all, let's see who we have waffling on with me and joining this celebration of 50 shows. We've got Ben.
Hello, John. You good?
I'm brilliant, Ben. Thank you. Hiya, Becca.
Hey, John.
Hi, Claire.
Hey, and happy anniversary and 50th show.
I know. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? We've got 50 shows under our belt. It's brilliant. And hello to Peter.
Hi. I don't think we look a day over 20.
Exactly. Exactly. And hello to Jill.
Hello. Yes, 50 shows young.
And we've also got Sammy. Hiya, Sammy.
Hi, John. 50 podcast episodes on top of everything else we've done. It's crazy.
It is mad. Crazy. I love it. And it's just like, and we've got loads more to do. And I think that's the best thing of all. It's a case that it might just be 50 shows, but we've actually got loads more up our sleeve. So keep in contact with us. You never know what we're going to do, but we're out there on all the socials.
I think on show one I had hair. Apparently not anymore. That's what happens with all the editing.
Anything you didn't.
I'd love to think I wasn't grey in show one, but I think I was.
Or was it show one we were all in black and white?
Yeah.
That's the One Division show, wasn't
it's the
it?
One Division episode.
That's what we should have done. We should have done a podcast through the decades for this show. That would have been very cool. We could have done 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Maybe when we get to 100.
Maybe we could.
There you go. We might need to start planning that now. Anyway, I'm going to urge everyone, go and fetch a drink. Choose what you want. You never know what time of day you're listening. And just enjoy the first part of our podcast this month. Possibly not all the martini cocktails that Becca enjoyed on the cruise, but I'll leave that for her to tell you about that. But welcome to the happiest cruises that ever sailed. From lockdowns and cancelled trips to Orlando, we've had wafflers who've been able to soak up the Disney magic. Ben, Becca, Jill, and Peter have now all returned from their happiest cruises, and they're going to share the insight into the magic, their memories, and so much more just for you. It's been a long time coming, but it must be so good to be able to meet Mickey and Minnie once again.
Absolutely. And what the first thing I really liked was, because there was no sail away party, they had Mickey and Minnie in the lobby there waiting to meet you. And I think that was better than a sail away party, because they had five individual parties. Mickey and Minnie came down the stairs, did a song, went back up the stairs, waved you goodbye, and it was fantastic. It was better than a sail away party.
Very sort of personal.
Yeah,
they were so close, and
it must have been harder work for them.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're not doing the stairs now because someone fell down. But
so
they're just doing the stage bit. Okay. They're still there. They're just on the stage. Yeah. So we've been on the Magic before. We did a 7-day cruise around the Med, but this was not better, just different, equally good. Just 3 days. Yeah. Disney put on a load of entertainment. We got Tangled the musical, which we weren't supposed to get at one point. So that was terrific. And then we saw the woman who played Mother Gothel in her concert, in her live concert, and she's fantastic. She's Broadway, West End. She's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it's been really intriguing because, you guys have been waiting a few weeks. Ben and Becca are not long back off their cruise, and we've all been in complete suspense until recording this. We've no idea what went on. It's been complete radio silence. And so, just to try and give that sort of flavour across to those people listening, you guys have been before. Ben and Becca, this is your first cruise, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, first time cruises.
So how was that Disney cruising feeling?
I think
for you?
I can sum it up in one line. It felt like Walt Disney World on a ship. It literally, we'd been away from Walt Disney World for nearly 2 years, and just they definitely used the right ship, the Disney magic, because as soon as you got on there, I was just become so emotional just seeing Mickey, Minnie, and I love the new processes of just like where you go to the muster point to have like where you're talking through things of like just all the things the social distancing and the stuff they had didn't take away any of the magic from what we've seen from previous vlogs before.
Yeah, it was. What I liked about it is actually Magic's one of the smaller ships.
Yeah.
So in general, it's quite an intimate feel to it. It's very easy not to get lost, which was always good, and very not. I didn't feel seasick, which is something that I was very worried about.
Yeah.
I think
that was good.
I think for me, I mean, obviously it was a different experience. It's bound to be because there are certain things that they've had to do this time. But I was just so impressed with the way that they handled everything. You still felt you were on holiday, you were enjoying yourself. It didn't feel like, oh, I've got to wear my mask, and I've got to do this, and I've got to do that. They made everything enjoyable and fun. What I felt on the first cruise we did as well, everybody gets it. Everybody is family. You speak to complete strangers in the middle of the promenade lounge and they say, oh, I love your ears or whatever. I mean,
is that like the same as Walt Disney World? You're just
absolutely.
Like,
everybody's family.
So friendly and
yeah.
Like
all
that
in that
would
community. It just feels like it's just everyone's giving you a great big hug.
Yeah. I had a very special dress with Sorcerer Mickey on. And I wore that for Animator's Palette, and I had a red cardigan over it, so sort of like Sorcerer Mickey's robe. And this little girl on the way to the restaurant saw me and just pointed and went, wow.
Oh, cool.
I thought, so cute.
Yeah, one of my questions would be like, Jill and Peter, because you have been on a cruise before, like taking into account what Ben said, do you agree with the fact that all the restrictions and regulations that were in place, did they take away anything from the cruise?
No, it just made it different. In one way, it made it easier. When under normal circumstances, you have to go to your muster point at a certain time. And
this is for the safety drill.
This is for the safety drill. And everybody goes and they tick your name off a list and then everybody disappears. What they did this time was you see the little show, then you go to your muster point so you know where it is. And then later on, they broadcast the safety over the screens or
in your room
or in your room or wherever.
And you just have to take a picture on your phone to basically scan yourself in to see that, to say that yes, why not?
That made it much easier. And the way they dealt with the lifts as well, the lifts and the doors. Now you don't need to touch them for them to work. But no, it.
I'm gonna say it probably might have improved on it because we did the rainforest room. Previously that would have been you'd been with other people. Because of COVID, you can't do that and all the restrictions. So we got to spend 45 minutes in there, and just
the two of us. So basically a private experience in that.
Yeah.
which was really, really relaxing.
I mean, obviously, it would have been nicer to have had a longer time and to have gone to different ports and so on. But for the experience that it was, no, I didn't feel that it was restricted at all.
No, there was a heck of a lot more characters.
Yeah,
A
and yes,
heck
you
of a lot
couldn't
more
actually go
characters.
up and hug them and whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But you could stand at a distance away and meet them.
Yeah.
But also more characters appeared in things. So we went to this quiz about emotions, and at the end,
Joy
Joy
showed
turned up.
Yeah,
And
and we also met. We met on Marvel Morning. We met Chip and Dale dressed as Thor and Loki.
That's fun.
Hilarious.
fantastic.
So cute. Oh, brilliant.
I think, as with most things, we've found that when in Walt Disney World, you always plan your trip, and you always know you can't fit everything in that you want
Yeah.
to. The same goes with the Disney cruise.
It does.
The Navigator app is brilliant for telling you what's on, what you can add stuff to your plan, a bit like on My Disney Experience, and it's just really good. And it was just used as a great way of getting around the ship, because we used it a couple of times on our first day, thinking, okay, where are we? What part of it do we
I
need to get
sat in
to?
cabanas studying the map so I could work out where everything is before we started wandering around.
Yeah.
So I know that cabanas was at the back of the ship and on deck 9, and so Senses was the same on
midship.
So what sort of activity?
the other
What sort of
side, et cetera,
activities
et cetera.
did you? What sort of activities did were you able to enjoy during the day? I know you mentioned about doing the martini tasting. Was there other things like that was laid on, or was it just very much a case of just enjoying the cruise experience and just
A bit of
putting
both.
your feet up?
Yeah, there was a mixture of
bit more you
everything from
could-
quizzes to.
You could dive in and do whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
You could spend time sat by the pool, and there is an adult pool and bar and cafe, or just dive into everything that was done. We won the pub quiz.
Yay. There
Voted.
was trivia. There was a theme park trivia one. We did not win it. We came close.
We came close, but we didn't win it.
We did not win it.
We got better.
we came close in all of ours and didn't win any of
I'll
them.
do on the last quiz that we were there, and the final. It was the theme park one?
No, it was just a general Disney trivia quiz.
Okay.
And it got down to 2 people at the very end. There was a tiebreaker, and one of the team names was called "We Want a Keyring," which was
Just the prize.
which is the prize. The prize is
Yeah.
a keyring. But the question was it how many
tiles
are
make up Spaceship Earth?
and it was which one could get closest, and the team that won it got it exact.
Spot on.
Right.
Wow. But yeah, we did trivia. We did
11,324.
Yeah.
cool. We did trivia. We did bingo.
That was one of the
couple
questions
times.
in your Ben's quiz.
It
I
was.
would think
That's
I
why.
would-
Remember the answer.
It's why I got really annoyed, because it was like we didn't get through to the
We didn't get through to
tiebreaker.
that.
Oh,
We were one point
1
away
point
from
away.
it.
From
yeah. We did bingo a couple of times, which was hilarious. We did karaoke. My tip of the day is never ever attempt to sing 9 to 5 in a mask, because that song is hard enough to breathe in anyway. But
Yeah.
it was so
Oh, my
hard.
word.
Yeah.
Work tomorrow.
We
Yeah.
did Palo brunch.
Yeah.
We've done brunch at Palo before, and we've done dinner at Palo before. It is different. Brunch is different.
Do you want to tell them what Palo is? Just in
Yeah,
case they
Palo
don't know?
is the extra charge restaurant. It's the kind of more upscale restaurant.
And it's for grown-ups only.
Yeah. And we did the brunch because we didn't want to miss the dinners in the evening in the main dining rooms. Previously, part of the brunch is a buffet. So you can go up and you can have however many of whatever you like. That, under current circumstances, is not happening. But a lot of the brunch items, the buffet items, they put into antipasto platters. So it was still a fantastic experience. We still had amazing food. The chicken parmigiana is everything they say and more. It is gorgeous. And we also got a plate for our anniversary, a little plate with chocolate with a message on it. And yeah, it was just
lovely.
beautiful service. you just feel really spoiled to death.
We did spend a little bit extra on our cruise by doing the tastings.
Yeah.
But what I got from all of the cruise, I wouldn't rush back to do the tastings. You don't need to do them if you don't want to.
No.
And don't feel pressured into having to plus this for this, because I know, as we always talk about Disney, they're always upcharging. To be honest, the value for money we got for our cruise and what we ate on that cruise and drank, it was well worth it. It really was. And
we did it. Sorry, carry on. I thought you'd finished. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it was just talking about the food was just one of those things that everyone says how great the food is. Until you go there and experience it, it is just exquisite. It is California on all levels.
What sort of foods did you guys actually get to enjoy?
It depends on what restaurant you're in.
Yep. The chicken nuggets. I saw them.
The chicken nuggets.
We made sure we had some chicken nuggets.
Yes, we did. Had them twice.
Twice, in fact. Yeah. Well, you had them once.
Yeah. Our travel day vlog will be very interesting. I'll give you. Actually, people won't have seen it while
hopefully you would have seen it. If you haven't, go back.
But
it's around somewhere. We'll link it.
We did a little tour of cabanas after eating. And then it's like, let's do a tour. And then it's like, we didn't realise.
We don't want any more food. Wander around. Oh, look, there's a dessert case.
Yeah. And we go back to the table with 4 cakes.
But it's well known that dessert goes in another stomach. So it's like,
that's fine.
And also there are strange things like in Cove Cafe, which is a cafe in the adult only area. You have to pay for the lattes, the coffees and teas and so on. But there are cakes and you can have as many as you like for free. So there's never enough cake.
We had a lot.
Yes.
And I found Rice Krispie cakes in there on the last day.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yes. And they asked you how many do you want to take.
And they asked me how many I wanted, and I very nearly said all of them. I was women, didn't I?
Give me all the cake.
Give me a box.
The coffees in Cove Cafe, the lattes, cappuccinos, anything that has a frothy top, they got a special machine that does chocolate Mickey
characters,
Mickey, but it's really well done.
Yeah, it's not just a stencil.
We got
the
Mickey,
sad thing
Goofy,
about
Stitch.
it is if you want to stir your coffee, you have to put
Yes,
your spoon into Mickey.
Oh no, I couldn't. I couldn't. But yeah, the main dining rooms, Rapunzel's is obviously done up in style of Rapunzel, and the detail. I mean, the chairs have got the little sun on the back. The table number has got a metal sort of imprint in it. There's a bowl on the table for bread that has got characters around the bottom. It's just utterly
The
beautiful.
napkin rings have got the sun on.
Yes,
them.
they have.
It's just
The
the
detail,
detail
it's just
things you
incredible.
wouldn't think about. And the show that goes along with Rapunzel. Oh god, that's just.
I am a little upset that we didn't get to do the Rapunzel show on the same. We didn't get to do Tangled on the same day we did the Rapunzel restaurant. That would have been amazing.
Okay.
I would have loved to have been in that group of people that were.
That is true.
But alas, we did get Rapunzel's on our last night, which was very nice.
We had Lumiere's on our first night.
Yeah.
Lumiere's palette, and then Rapunzel's.
For those of you who don't know, Disney do what's called rotational dining, where you go around a different one of 3 every night. And if you're on a longer cruise, you do some of them or all of them twice.
With different menus.
And
but also your servers go with you.
Yeah.
So your servers get to know what drinks you like, how you like your steak, that you eat this and you don't eat that, you don't want too much ice, all these sort of things. They know you.
And as soon as you walk into the restaurant, they run up to you and escort you to your table.
Yeah, they do.
We went to Lumiere's for breakfast on the second full day.
Okay.
And our server was serving breakfast in that restaurant.
Right,
Saw us, came up to the maitre d'.
Yeah.
And said, I'll take these 2.
Yeah.
They're mine.
Oh, bless.
We met one of our servers and our head server in Cabanas. They were doing Cabanas.
We did
Yeah. And they come over and they say, hi, how are you? You know,
it's like, I'm having breakfast, leave me alone.
Well, you also, these guys are working crazy shifts, you know, they haven't got time to come and talk to people. Yeah.
Also, we met one of our servers from our previous cruise who was still working on the magic.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Wow.
We've got a funny story as well. On the first night when we were introduced to our server, just sort of asked if we cruised before and all of this, he was going to be the one. He was stationed normally on the fantasy, but got stuck on the magic because of COVID and everything.
Okay.
So he would have been
Nice
on.
place to be stuck.
He would have been on our original cruise.
Right. Okay.
Originally,
Cool.
he would have. So it was,
Wow.
Wow.
possibility we would have met him anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the important thing is what Becca said. The ship is not too big. It's not too daunting. And it's fairly easy to get round. For those of you who have kids, the kids' work is, from what I can see, fantastic. I obviously haven't done it, but I've seen round the kids' work.
We did have a wander through the kids sections.
Yeah.
We met Jessie in there actually.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
On the first day.
Did you do the hand washing?
Yeah. They've got these amazing hand wash
The hand washing
machines.
machines. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
People go to the kids' clubs
Just
just
to-
to wash their
to do the
hands.
hands washing. Yeah.
Amazing hand washing machines.
There are sections in those kids clubs for everyone.
Yeah.
Including a die-hard Disney fan who just wants to know about the SEA.
Yes.
Yes.
There's a whole section full of SEA,
Jungle Cruise
kind of stuff.
Also, what's his name? Hightower?
Yeah.
Harrison Hightower.
Yes.
Yep.
John
And-
Rowley.
Also found a book in one of those rooms with Phineas and
Ferb on
Ferb.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, yay!
Yay.
We do love a bit of
Come on,
Phineas and
Phineas and
Ferb.
Ferb.
Yeah.
There's a beautiful cinema and a beautiful theatre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh, theatre.
And I think the other thing people don't necessarily know about room service. Room service is free.
You just have
Apart
to-
from certain things like if it's pre-packaged food and drink, so if it's a can of Coke, tough luck, you've got to pay for it. But you can order a cheese plate, you can order cookies and milk, you can order breakfast, coffee and pastries, all sorts of stuff, and it's all free. They do recommend that you tip your server, obviously, but yeah, other than that, everything's free. You can have pastries and coffee, sit out on your balcony if you've got one. And
we never got a chance to
we never
experience room
did
service,
room
but that was
service.
just because I think we were just out of the room quite a lot, just
yeah,
busy going from quiz to
Character. to
relaxing.
relax
and
on
just,
the whole.
our last full afternoon, we just literally spent relaxing and just we had the rainforest room booked. So it was like we wanted to do that, and then it was Rapunzel's for dinner.
the Rainforest Room, if anybody doesn't know, is in Senses Spa. And is it 3 different showers? It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Different
Different
showers.
showers,
Is it-
different scents, temperatures, and sounds all around. There's also an aromatic steam room and a normal steam room, as well as heated chairs and iced water, and usually a flavoured iced water as well.
And
Well, it
somewhere
Sounds like it's all go go go. You know, like people think of, I don't know, people feel like have this thing in their head that cruises are relaxing, but it sounds like there's
Do you
just
know,
so much to do.
it's what you make of it.
Yeah, you could
You can
spend
choose
3
what you
days
do.
just sitting by the pool,
Yeah.
just reading a book. Or
I know-
you,
Yeah.
can,
You know, people go to Walt Disney World and just go, okay, I'll do a morning at a park, but then I'll spend the afternoon sort of at a hotel and relaxing. So it depends on what you want to do.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, this has not put us off cruising. It makes us want to go back.
Yeah.
Disney don't have a casino, obviously, and that space is given over to kids' work. We did the photo plan,
Package. Yeah.
which we found value for money for us. But we got a load of photos taken. We figured out where they were going to do all the magic shots and things like that.
I have
And
to
lots of
say,
magic shots done.
in normal times, it's better value because obviously you can have photos with all the characters, which this time you couldn't. But they did have magic shots, which they haven't had before, I don't think. And they did have things like the lantern shot, Rapunzel's lantern, that you could go and do. And also in the atrium, they had various different backgrounds that you could go and basically be photographed against, which, all right, that's fake and, it's a little bit tacky. But
Do you know what? The cast members that do the photos on there, probably
They are brilliant.
Yeah, that when you get a good photographer in Walt Disney World, and that's a good photographer. These are that caliber. They're that level.
They are all very good. Yeah.
They also come to all the restaurants as well, and they take photos.
And I spend so much time with you as well. I think on average we spend about 5 minutes with each photographer.
Yeah.
Different poses, and it was just brilliant.
Together, separately.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we were celebrating our anniversary in Palo rang down and got a photographer up for us.
Yeah.
To Palo.
Apparently they don't normally do the brunch. I didn't know this, but apparently they, or maybe they weren't doing it on these cruises. But when we said, is there a photographer around, they actually rang down and they got him to come up, and then of course he went round and did everybody else as well. So
why not while you're there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Makes it extra special.
Yeah, it's difficult to give you a proper picture without you doing it. That's the main thing. We can tell you all these things, but really you need to experience it to do it.
Yeah.
If you're on the fence, do it.
Give it a try.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you've never considered one before, as with everyone does, going to Walt Disney World and going to other Disneyland Paris, people are, and it's difficult when you look at the money and you think actually 3 nights is going to be up to £2,000, but then actually it depends, because you need to look at things like guaranteed staterooms. You can save a bit of money if you don't want to pick where you are on the ship. And it's little things like that you can, and I think it is.
All of your food's included.
Yeah.
And all the soft drinks at dinner, at your meals. And up on Deck 9, there's a normally self-serve, but in these times you get served. There is a station for hot and cold soft drinks. That's all included as well.
And all you can eat ice cream.
Yeah,
ice cream.
Oh, now you're selling it.
All you can eat soft serve ice cream in 4 different flavors.
Yeah.
And all the food on Deck 9, all the quick service food.
Yeah,
is
pizza,
pizzas
nuggets,
are quite good as
chicken
well.
tenders.
They
It's
are
really good.
nice.
Yeah.
Sandwiches, fruit.
Yeah.
All sorts.
All included.
So what we haven't talked about is the gratuities. There are 4 set gratuities.
Yeah, I think it's a head server, assistant server, and your stateroom host. Your stateroom host is kind of like your personal Jeeves. They will basically tidy up your room, set it out for you, put a towel animal in your room at night, and little chocolates. They will do all sorts of stuff for you. Our phone cables and our earphones and so on were all neatly coiled up with a little tag on them every night, little thing keeping them together. If you've got children, you may find that their toys are arranged differently when you get back into your room. You might find if you've got sunglasses, your sunglasses might be on a towel elephant or something like that when you get in. There's all sorts of little things, but they really do look after you well. If they see you in the corridor, they chat, they say hi. It's so lovely.
After a few days off the cruise, I miss the chocolates.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they weren't even Ghirardelli this time.
Oh, do you know what? Dove chocolates are fine. That will do.
Dove's what we would call Galaxy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But yes, the gratuities, you can choose not to pay them, I guess. But
please don't.
They are definitely, they're a percentage of the cost, and you're given little envelopes. And we pay gratuities ahead. Yeah. So all we had to do was put a slip in the envelope. Slip of paper in our envelope.
Yeah.
And then they get the money from that.
And it's $13.50 per person per night. Yeah. So per guest per night. So yeah.
So yeah, it's but that's definitely worth. Please do it if you go on.
And you can give more.
Yeah. They are worth every penny.
Yeah. And make sure that anyone does go on a cruise, fill out the comment card.
Yes.
Because it helps the cast members. It's the only way that Disney know that the cast members are doing the job on the cruise. And it can be a difference between someone who's going out above and beyond, which you have to admit throughout the whole week, of 3 days, we just saw so many cast members just doing that extra bit for everyone.
Yeah.
Because it's not it's not a normal cruise. It's everyone's doing their little bit, and it's just you can feel the happiness of cast members to be back working.
Yeah.
Of course, the best way to find out about what the Disney cruise was like is to watch the videos that are coming out.
Yep.
From the Waffle.
Seamless plug.
Yeah. Me and Jill, I've done a photo highlights, and Ben and Becca are doing a blow by blow.
Yeah.
So you'll get a good feel for what the ship is like if you watch them.
Yeah.
I think that's great, Peter, because actually that's the bit I'm looking forward to, because, I think you've just sort of whetted all of our appetites. Certainly that talk about food in particular, but the whole experience I'm looking forward to seeing and sharing and just getting to know from such despair, and you think about all these times that we've been desperate to get away on holiday, and for you guys to actually have been able to get your cruise booked and to actually get away, it is such a lovely feeling, and to actually have that little bit of Disney magic of your own is wonderful. And I must admit, Claire, are you swayed any way, shape, or form to getting on one of them boats yet?
It all sounds amazing. It all sounds amazing. It sounds like a fantastic opportunity and a good substitute if you can't do what you had intended to do, which was go to Walt Disney World. Is it for me? No, I don't think it is, to be honest with you. I think
it can't be for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, you'd never get booked. I think the thought of being on an ocean liner, for me, it doesn't sit comfortably. And even though the smallest ship has plenty of space, I still think that I would probably get a bit of cabin fever. I need to be out and about doing stuff. And whilst it sounds like there's loads to do, it possibly isn't my bag. So I'm glad you had an amazing time. The food and drink sounds fabulous. But it's I think probably I was very quiet because I think probably I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but it's not for everyone, I don't think.
Would you consider doing one with Port Adventures?
So you've got the chance
to get off the ship, go and do a bit of exploring.
I don't know. And it is something that Dan and I have looked at. We have looked extensively at cruises. We thought about it for 2020, doing a 4-night double-dipped Castaway Key in Florida. For me, it's about being on the ship that I struggle with. So I think it doesn't matter how many times you stop. The fact it's a big piece of floating metal worries me. So I think I don't think
people have the same fear of planes. It's one of those things.
Yes. I don't think there's any getting away from that bit for me. So it's probably not something we're going to be experiencing.
I totally understand that, Claire. That's why I asked the question, because I'm just aware that I know you and I have shared that conversation previously. I just think it's worthwhile because there's probably people listening who are in a similar position. I would have, and I'm like you, I would have loved to have had the opportunity, but I still have that reticence to get on a boat for, no matter how good my swimming certificate was from secondary school, the whole the cruising part of it, the way that the ship is actually organised, and the engineering part of it is the fact that the ship is far more balanced, it's far more stable than your average ferry and things like that. It is purely it's a pleasurable experience, and hopefully when we watch all your videos, then
you won't get seasick because it's me going.
We'll all be persuaded. We'll all be persuaded.
It's so smooth. We didn't even realise we'd set sail.
Yeah.
We got went to the shop, had a reach around, picked up a couple of bits, went back to our stateroom. It was pitch black outside, and we couldn't tell that we were moving.
I
didn't think we were.
I get
saw a light and realised we were.
I get seasick walking across a puddle normally.
We spoke to Amelia
Oh no, she texted me at 20.
She messaged Ben
about 10:30, going, "Oh, we set sail 10 minutes ago," and it's like we were in the shop.
We were in the shop.
Recognise
we
there's no
didn't realise this.
And it was just.
So,
You really cannot tell.
Couldn't even tell.
I'm looking forward to doing another cruise. We have booked a placeholder, which
we booked a placeholder.
It's you get 10% off your next cruise, and you put down a $250 deposit, and you have to use it within 2 years. Our plan is to go on one not next year, the year after. So we thought, do you know what? Let's use the discount while we can, and then and it is fully refundable. So you can get your money back on that if you decide you don't want to.
And you can send it to your travel agent / travel counsellor of choice.
We were able to put down a deposit in pounds.
Yeah.
In sterling. So we set that to our.
We did ours in dollars as ours is.
Our travel agents in America. Our travel counsellor's American. So.
But it's one of those things, and it's I'm looking forward to having another cruise when things are a bit more back to normal, so we can have things that we hadn't experienced on this cruise, and in a way, by experiencing it with a lower capacity of people and in the way it's been done, it's given us a nice sort of taster of what to expect on another cruise.
Sammy, what do you think?
I've been on a cruise once before, not a Disney cruise, but so I do kind of know like what it feels like to be on a cruise. Would I do a Disney cruise? Absolutely. Will I? Who knows? But I definitely would do one. 100%.
Cool.
They are more expensive, but they are worth the extra money.
Yeah, definitely. Again, it's just circumstances, isn't it? And I feel like I will one day end up doing one. I've got to.
Also, the American cruises are much less expensive.
Yeah.
The DCL, the bread and butter cruises that go to Castaway Cay are a lot less expensive. And in fact, a lot less expensive than the one we've just done. So
the one we're looking at is the Wish, which is going to do 3 or 4 nights, Castaway Cay, and when everything there is about Frozen and Marvel and so a Marvel restaurant, and it's just
you'll get you'll get the famous bag that we got this year. If you are once you do a Disney cruise, you join the Castaway Club.
Yes.
And if you second visit puts you silver, and you get a really nice shoulder bag, carrier bag, backpack.
Backpack. Yeah.
It's a really nice small backpack that is really good. For 5, you become gold, then you get a very nice, very posh luggage tag. 10, you become platinum. I don't know what you get for platinum.
Oh, all sorts of things.
Discount.
Yes.
And also,
a letter from your bank manager.
Saying you need to remortgage.
Also, once you reach those milestones, you can book earlier than the general. So
we were lucky this time because we were with DVC members, so we got the same as what
you got silver. Yeah.
Cool.
Is that because you bought half the boat by the time you get to 10?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Pretty much.
You keep going. It's like at the end of it, I'm going, you're captain
the anchor now. By the end of it.
We found that there were a lot of first-time cruisers on our trip, though.
I think a lot of it was like Claire said. It's like a lot of people are going on this cruise because they can't go to Walt Disney World. And Paris, for a lot of people, have with testing and travel restrictions. This has been a lot of people's only chance of getting some Disney magic.
I think
but also, we were really sorry. Carry on, Claire.
So I was going to say that not everyone is in a fortunate position as we are, being able to just jump in the car and get down the road to Disneyland Paris. Significant proportion of the UK still have to fly over to Paris, and therefore it becomes a bit harder to negotiate, I think, probably. So this is an alternative where you don't have to do any sort of air travel.
No, I hope Disney come back in a couple of years' time, because I know they've planned for the Magic next year, but I'm wondering whether the year after whether they might alternate staycations, and because I think
they were asking for it, weren't they? They were asking whether people wanted it.
I was going to say this is a new thing this year. They've never done this before. This is purely because the Magic was basically couldn't get back to America for 18 months, and I think a lot of cruise lines do short taster cruises, and I think this has been the first opportunity that many people in the UK have had to do that sort of thing. Because otherwise, either you've got to fly to America to do a short cruise, or you've got to do a 7-night one or whatever from the UK or from Europe, which are significantly more expensive. So loads of people have found it a really useful taster.
But we were very fortunate that the magic got stuck here.
Yes.
Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened before.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
It just sounds you've had a fantastic time, and I really appreciate you coming and just sharing it. You know, like I said at the beginning, I actually felt as if we'd all been in suspense for so long, just desperately wanted to find out about your cruises. So it sounds brilliant. I appreciate you telling us all about it. Everyone needs to go and check out your vlogs, your videos about it too, and hopefully it'll inspire one or two people to sign up for maybe the next staycation cruise that Disney do, or maybe even persuade you to go and get one of those lovely cruises that they do, going from the States just down into it just sounds so idyllic. It really does. Yeah, I think I might need to. I'll put it on the list. So we're going to move the show on, and we're going to actually get to the stage of the show where we're going to look at Come Disney With Me. And this month it's my turn to lay before everybody my favorite attraction, my favorite food, come restaurant, come eatery type thing, and then also favorite experience, which I will tell you just now. It is a surprise, and I'm just going to put it out there. Nobody knows what I've chosen for the third one. So if you see some rather forlorn faces, if you're watching it on the YouTube version of this, just watch for the faces as I'm talking. You know who you are. If you're just listening, just enjoy, because actually this was just so enjoyable for me to actually put together. So here we go. My choice of ride is a simple one, and actually refer back to a Mickey Minute from our great friend Jeffer from the Dibcast. Favourite ride, he asked, and instinct kicked in, and amidst all my joys of Flight of Passage, the sheer exhilaration of Tower of Terror wins every single time. Even Lou mentioned it when we spoke to him last year, as did Theme Park Baza in our September mid-month show. In fact, I seem to recall we've mentioned this ride so much in all of our shows, it's perhaps deserving to be included in our 50th. The story of the whole ride is shared rather amazingly in the Imagineering story and behind the attraction on Disney+. But this ride is something else. The sheer thought, the sheer true Imagineering, and the detail in the engineering of the whole ride, as well as the theming, is second to none. From the wakeboard outside, ominously predicting a 13-minute queue as you approach, what did resemble a hotel that's obviously seen better days, and that's before you even reach the entrance. Once you do, it's a myriad of cobwebs and theming that's so particular in its detail, you might just wish to let a few people past while you're just taking the sights as you enter the building. There's so much going on. And without spoiling your next trip, just look at the boards that adorn the walls, giving information about what's occurring in the hotel and more. The pre-show brings the Twilight Zone into full effect and gives a storyline that is keeping with the TV classic. Your exit is into the behind-the-scenes lift maintenance part of the hotel, and the suspense is ramped up by clever lighting of some amazing cast members who really do give you that full immersion before you even step onto the ride. From there, it really is a ride into the unknown with so many different ride variations. You don't quite know what will happen. With more storytelling in the dark, there then comes that moment when you feel the heat of a hot Florida day. The aircon is no more. The exhilaration is set to begin. And don't forget to smile, laugh, sleep, or scream for the photo and the ride video. I could talk all day about the intricacies of the ride, but the most telling is the feeling you get as you enjoy the lift rise and then fall, and then that going up feeling once again as you feel yourself leave your seat, as you hear the screams of others, and you're filled with such a heartfelt thrill like no other. Now, for those of you who are a bit more Team Wimp, then the ride is also themed with an alternative lift. The chicken exit, or perhaps the sensible option. I'll leave that for you to decide. But to actually experience such a queue and then still get into a lift, it does show it is queue line theming at its absolute best. The ride photo and the gift shop options just slow down the urge to ride again and again. And fortunately, I think during Summer Night-tastic in 2010, I had the privilege as an annual pass holder of riding this at least 11 times in succession with my eldest son, who was only 7 at the time, and he didn't call social services afterwards. So I was quite thrilled at that. This ride has been my most favourite for a long, long time. And before you mention it, the retheming of the ride to Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout in California and Paris simply adds to the magic of it. The ride design is such that it will stand the test of time and it will never grow old. I give you my ride choice, Tower of Terror.
I mean...
Is that why? Yeah, you've explained the ride, so I don't have to go and ride it. You did it so well,
Just
John.
point out one teeny tiny thing. They haven't officially announced that they're going to change the Disneyland Paris one, the Guardians of the Galaxy, yet. I don't think.
But they're going to. We know
They're probably going to.
But
it's not. For whoever's listening, it's not official.
But we're expecting it to happen at some point.
Any day.
And also, but it belongs. It's going to belong in that part. It's going to be the Marvel part of the park. So it's just like
it will just stick out like a sore thumb, wouldn't it? Really?
Probably just. But hey, I'm more concerned of talking Walt Disney World, because that ride in itself, and I think I put it in the what I just said there. It's that whole thing when the heat hits you. And it's at that particular point that if you're a bit nervous, you've got a little bit of a cold sweat going on. And then suddenly you've got a bit of a cold sweat meeting the heat. And it's just like, oh no, I really wish I wasn't going to be doing this ride.
I mean, what sets the Walt Disney World one as well apart from the others is that it is completely randomized. So the sequences in the elevators are different. You can get a different ride. Like you said, you rode 11 times in a row. I'd be surprised if you got 2 or 3 of the same ride.
I wouldn't recommend that, though. I must admit, and because it was a pass holder evening, and actually in the end we just got them to just forget the pre-show. We've seen the film 4 times. Let's just open the doors. Let's just keep going on. Back round. But no,
if you can stay seating.
I love it, and it's probably still my favorite ride in all of Disney World. I love it. Love it. Everything.
As you said, John, it's not one that I have actually ridden, but I have been through the queue several times, and it really is worth it. There's just so much to see. The Walt Disney one, as you said, it's kind of set back in its own grounds, so even the approach up to it is something of an event. And there's just so much theming, there's so much to see. And yes, you go down in a lift and a bellhop is there with you, and they did the whole going down scary thing. So they make it special.
The one flaw I would give it only has one, is that I wish it was longer. I wish the ride was longer, honestly. That's the only thing I would improve.
I misheard you, Simon. I thought it only had one floor. I thought that's a very short drop.
That I could do. Yeah.
That's the drop we can do.
I just wish it went up and down more times. There you go.
Okay.
That's in its simplest form. There we go.
It's overall a longer ride than Paris because you have the section where you go forward through the Twilight Zone, which is not in Paris. But Paris has its own charms, and Tokyo is Tokyo's completely different anyway.
Yeah.
So
that's what's quite good about that sort of attraction, is that it's the same sort of similar ride system, the same in each of the parks, but it's got its own unique story. It's got its own unique. So every time you go to one, you're not always going to get the same thing, and having different experiences at the same one, like a Walt Disney World. will always give you a different experience.
Yeah.
And if anyone ever has the chance of looking at, was it behind the attraction on Disney Plus, have a little look at how Joe Roddy was actually dragged in for the whole creation of the Shanghai version, and it's just like, it just opens your eyes to how much work one Imagineer can actually be forced to do, just in times when you begin to think he's got enough on with when he opened Flight of Passage, and it was just like there was just more to it as well.
If in doubt, get Joe involved.
Get Joe.
Well, it is Harrison Hightower.
Yes.
And if we're so like the theming is obviously amazing, second to none. You know, when you walk into the building, you know, just everything about that like hall foyer area is just is so cool. There's so many small details that you can miss so easily, like in your anxiety and anticipation of the ride itself, and all that just adds to it, which I think is really cool.
What I always wondered about the theming of the main hall is, did they just let it go, or is there a standard that they go to so that somebody is cleaning off dust here and there, so that it makes it that's very Disney.
That's it. You'll never know if it's like real dust or fake dust.
Which cobweb should I not get rid of?
Yeah.
The one with the real spider in it is the one that you want to get rid of.
No, extra theming for Halloween.
Also, it has some seriously classy merch.
Yes.
Some very
it certainly does. It certainly does. You know,
and the ride vehicle is one of the coolest ride vehicles, I think, personally, in any theme park, let alone just Disney.
Yeah. It's very cleverly done. It's better than something like Doctor Doom's Fearfall or any of those like single drop rides. Yeah, much better than those.
The elevator with the seats and your seat belt and the fact that it moves through the building and stuff like that. I just think it's genius. Claire, you've been pretty quiet.
Couldn't get a word in. Every time I went to speak, you guys were just chatting away. It's fine. So I do enjoy Tower of Terror. Well, enjoy is probably maybe not quite the right word. I have been told by my cousin's husband, Simon, who I rode the one in Orlando with, because my cousin Nikki won't ride it. Apparently, I scream like a banshee. Which, I think that's what you're meant to do on that attraction, isn't it? You're not supposed to do anything else. If you and I think I probably burst his eardrum a couple of times. But do I enjoy it? I absolutely respect and am enthralled by the theming and the story that's created. I think it is absolute mastery of Imagineering, and there is very little that would trump that, I think, probably in any attraction, certainly in Walt Disney World. Is it my favorite attraction? No, but that's personal preference. I'm not a big fan of heights, so the whole shoot you up to the sky and open doors so you can see how high you are probably isn't, I will actually get on it, whereas Dr. Doom's Fearfall, there is not a chance I'm going anywhere near that. No. Being inside helps. But is it something that I will queue a long time to ride? No, it isn't actually. So I appreciate it. Absolutely. I love the theming. Is it a favourite? Not for me.
Okay. My favourite technical.
John.
That's all right. No, I'm fine with that, Claire, because actually,
there's one less person in the queue.
Oh yeah, exactly. But when I was putting the ideas for the show together, I was going to do my usual sort of playing devil's advocate, and I was going to choose all the things I really disliked more than anything else. but when it actually came to it, Tower of Terror has actually been the one that I go back to. I love coasters. I love the complete sort of coaster experience, irrespective of where it is. And yet, this isn't a coaster. This is a ride which is just engineered so amazingly that
I think that's
irrespective of how old you are, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It intrigues me just as to the whole way that the
system works. Exactly. I think that's the bit that I like is the backstage knowledge around how does it work, why does it work, what safety components did they put. I go to that engineering point of how do they construct something that doesn't kill you, even though you think it might. And that in itself is incredibly clever. And when you do watch the behind the attraction video on Disney Plus, that explains a lot of the system and how they had to find something that did it that wasn't meant to do it, and then create something that would do it. There's also a fabulous video on YouTube. I can't remember the chap's name who basically talks through the engineering of both the difference between the Disneyland Paris.
I think.
I can't remember, Peter. I don't want to say the wrong name because, we want to make sure we promote the right video.
Credit where it's due, isn't it?
But it talks about the difference between the Disneyland Paris, because the Disneyland Paris ride and the California ride are the same ride system, and obviously Walt Disney World is different, and it talks through how they're different and why they're different, and actually the loading and the unloading and the capacities and why that's different. So that side of it, I absolutely love. I like the tension that the theming creates. I don't like feeling like that, and I certainly don't like being thrown up in the air, but I appreciate it for an amazing piece of Imagineering.
Excellent. Anybody, anything else they want to add before we vote?
The safety, the thing, Claire was talking about the safety. They have several redundant safety things that they always put in. But my favorite bit about the safety is if all else fails, you don't just fall down, you go down on a cushion of air. If all the other safety things fail, there's a cushion of air and it just brings you down gently.
I never like
just saying all the other safety things.
Just because you're saying the word safety doesn't make this sound very safe.
I think the issue
is like I'm in a plane and they're going to go, there's a cushion of air underneath. So if we do crash that, we'll be fine.
Exactly. If you watch the behind the attractions thing, Ben, have you seen that and why it works the way it does? So that actually they had to create something that is falling faster than gravity to make you feel like you're falling. Otherwise, you just feel like you're kind of sitting there. Which is the clever engineering side. So actually, they're forcing something, which means it's easier to control rather than something it's not in free fall. It's actually a controlled descent, but it's a fast controlled descent. It makes sense. It doesn't make you less anxious, though. But it's meant to make you anxious. That's the point. That's the whole purpose of the ride. So it's that, rock and hard place, really.
Yes. Especially since watching behind the scenes, behind the attractions show, it's not so much the ride vehicle that I don't like. It's the theming. And the theming is done amazingly. It's brilliant. But I just don't like the Twilight Zone.
Maybe when you go to Disneyland, you can do the California Mission Breakout version, and that might work better for you.
Mission Breakout in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But because it's so detailed with Tower of Terror and the Twilight Zone, it's one of the reasons that I won't go near it.
I can totally understand that. And I think as well, though, I think this is where you get longevity of the whole experience. And certainly in Walt Disney World, is the fact that it's designed so that it can be interchangeable. We know how much, or you guys all know how much I particularly don't like it when they start meddling and overlaying and stuff like that. It's one of my pet hates. But actually, it probably will end up happening. The Guardians overlay, I think at some time might come there, but it won't fit within the theming of Hollywood Studios. And I think that's where it stands alone in some respects. They can have the rest of them as Mission Breakout, but actually the one in Walt Disney World, it's for as long as they got the rights to actually have Twilight Zone attached to it and stuff, I hope it will continue because it's just the most amazing.
Agree. Agree.
Yeah.
Let's vote.
Excellent.
I'll make it easy for you. 10's 10 experience, 10 queue, 10 vehicle, 10.
I'll make it easy. I'm abstaining.
Okay.
Oh.
Yep. Not done it. Haven't been in there. Can't
Okay.
comment.
No,
Even though it's one that I want to
That's
do,
fine.
I don't think that I could give it value with.
No, that's fine, Ben. And again, that's why we had that ability to abstain from the vote as well. I can totally understand that.
I just want to mess up Claire's numbers.
Part of the vote.
It doesn't mess it up, though, does it? Really?
No.
That's a shame. It doesn't.
That makes things really complicated, wouldn't it?
Becca.
Despite the fact that I don't like the theming, it is amazing and it is brilliant theming on that queue. So I will give that a 10. Maybe I should knock a point off because I don't like it. No, I won't.
Point off. Go on.
Ride vehicle. I don't really know about the ride vehicle, to be honest.
Goes up and down.
It goes up and down, and it's very, very well controlled. So
And it's like a lift.
And it's like a lift. So I'm going to give it a 9.
But it's a lift that goes the way a lift shouldn't.
Right.
It go
That's all right.
that way.
Becca can choose.
That's all right.
And then the ride
overall
experience.
I can't really talk much about because I've never done the ride itself. So I'm going to be generous and I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay. Go on, Peter. What about you?
9s across the board. 9s across the board. It is one of the best rides. Just plain and simple.
Yeah. Jill.
I can really only in person talk about the theming. And I'm going to give the theming a 10 because it really is amazing. The ride vehicle, I have no personal experience of it, so I will say 8. It seems to do what it's meant to do. And overall experience, again, I can't talk from personal experience. I've only done the chicken exit. That was great. I'll say 8.
Okay. Claire.
Okay, so the queue line experience, I agree, is a 10. It's amazing. Makes you terrified before you even step foot in the lift shaft. Ride experience. Oh, this is really hard. This is like the oxymoron of being petrified and thinking you're going to die.
And that's what makes it the ride that it is. Yeah, that's what makes it the ride that it is. It's just,
and I don't know if I enjoy that or not, John. That's a problem. How do I feel about that? It's really, really difficult. I'm going to give it a 9 just for that moment of jeopardy that I experienced. And the ride vehicle, do you know what? It fits the theme. The seats are not particularly comfortable. They do give you something to hang on to, white knuckle moment, rather than the person next to you, at least. I'm going to give that a 7.
Okay, that's good. And I'm going to go for 10s across the board. I'm going to follow what Sammy did. And actually, it would be quite a surprise if I chose anything separate for the one that I'd laid before you. So
eloquently.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I thought you were joining the RSC for a minute.
Pause while the adjudicator adjudicates.
Indeed.
Calculators at work.
I have to say, I really do want to do the Tokyo one, at least the queue, because the theming looks amazing. It's a completely different backstory. It does look wonderful.
See, I've got an idea for the Paris one.
Yeah.
Instead of making it Mission Breakout, make it Avengers Tower that's been taken over by Ultron.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, they can do that in Paris.
In Paris,
yeah.
That would continue making every single one unique then.
Yeah.
Well, they could do a Mission Breakout in Orlando, but because they own the rights to.
I don't know whether because they've got Guardians in Epcot.
They have, yeah.
And just wonder whether that would sort of fit with that sort of I think they're just best of keeping.
I think they'll keep it as Tower of Terror.
Just
It
where
would be
it
cool
is.
if everyone in every park around the world was different.
Yeah, it would be.
Okay, Claire.
Claire's ready to go.
Scores. So the Q line scores a whopping 69.
Ooh.
With the averages added on. The experience overall scores a 63 and the ride vehicle a 62. So in total, that gives it a 65, which is amazing.
High.
Pretty good.
That's brilliant.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Why do I think that might be one of our highest?
What did
I think it may be the highest.
No, I think
that might-
I think the trolley show got higher than that last month, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might have done. It's
It might be our
close
highest
enough.
ride.
I think it
Yeah,
is.
very
Yeah.
Highest attraction, yeah.
Wow. No, excellent. That's brilliant. I'm pleased with that, and it's. I think it's testament. It's testament to just how good it actually is. So, my food choice again is a simple one for me, and I'm going to say in all our visits since it actually opened in 2009, we've actually eaten in this place probably more often than any other on property. And believe it or not, I've even paid out of my own pocket in many occasions. So I'll have that noted as well as to just how good a value it is. But the thing is, it has consistently been the best meal that we've experienced over those years. The menu itself sets out to replicate the theming of Kidani Village. The theming is visible to all as you're seated, and with a view of the savannah and the wildlife that may pass by the windows as you eat. Sana'a is just the most amazing place. If you had time prior to your dining reservation, you might have been able to gather around the fire pit and have a cast member share the details of the animals that you'll see. If you didn't see them, then after the meal, they did used to have night vision binoculars at one point, so you could actually go in the dark and actually experience it then. But it's the food. And the food's been mentioned again by many of our guests. And with even on the current menu, the most expensive item is a New York strip at $34. It's actually affordable in comparison to most other Disney restaurants, in my opinion. But once immersed in the smells of this restaurant, the biggest wow is the thing that I think we've actually spoken about with more guests than we care to remember. I know Disney Dan could have taken probably an hour to share with us his description and his thoughts. And I know others have said the same too. You can have the bread service, which is the most amazing thing to actually devour. Once you've even Sammy on that diet of chicken nuggets when you're in Florida and all the fries, the bread service in Sana'a just offers something completely different. And again, you can have this just as a meal on its own, and then you can depart. If you're just quite happy just having the bread service, you can go. I wouldn't suggest that you do, but the bread service, the naan bread, the unique dips, they really do hit the taste buds, and they scintillate the palate so much than your usual Orlando food experience. There is so much flavour to be enjoyed, yet you can still opt for those safe options if that's your thing to do. As food places go, to be able to use the words unique, consistent, and scintillate is one thing, but to have tasted that bread service is quite another. Sana'a is my food choice beyond all other.
Yay! I agree.
I'm hungry now.
What are we doing then, you Wafflers brain?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Sana'a is one of those places that we happened upon by chance, to be honest with you. It was one of those things. It was like the last night of our trip several years ago, and we were just like, where should we go for dinner? Where do we fancy? And we've gone through lots of menus, and we were like, oh, don't really know. We fancy something different. So we decided to give Sana'a a go, and oh my goodness, we have never looked back, because it is a gem. And we were a bit put off when we arrived, because you sort of park in what feels like a multi-story car park, and then you have to sort of walk through past all the hotel rooms if you park underneath the Kidani Village, and it's all a bit weird. But when you get to the lobby and then you go downstairs to Sonar, let's just talk about the toilets next to Sonar. They're pretty epic.
Are they good?
They really are.
Yeah.
One of the best toilets on property.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then you've got that beautiful outside area with the rocking chairs and the fire pit. And the cast members at Sonar are incredible. And then there's the food, and the cocktail menu's not too shabby either, is what I'm going to say. I think, John, it's a cracking choice because it does, as you say, it is unique and it offers something different. There is nowhere else like it.
Yeah.
And if you get that view of, if you manage to get the window seat with that view of the savannah when it's daylight outside, it's absolutely gorgeous.
We haven't been in the day, we've only been in the evening, and as always in Florida, it's sort of daytime and then 5 minutes later it's black outside. It sort of hits you, sunset hits you very, very quickly. So we've been sort of outside looking at animals and stuff, and then by the time we've sat down at dinner, suddenly you can't see anything outside at all. So we haven't had that experience of being able to watch our dinner walking past.
I must admit, our last visit there in 2019 was one where we got there early because we wanted to just soak up the whole experience of the hotel, and it was glorious, absolutely glorious. And then you just sensed, the animals were sensing there was a storm coming, because the animals just were just sort of, you could see, they just knew where the safe place is. And actually it was intriguing because they knew what was happening, and they wanted
long before you did.
Oh yeah, too right.
Yeah.
But we were sat in the restaurant and we were actually given the most incredible lightning storm.
Oh wow!
In the windows and the silhouette of the hotel, the rooms across the other side of the savannah, and the whole sky. It was amazing, and it was one thing. I think we were sat eating and we just thought, I'm glad we're not going to watch fireworks tonight. and it was just one of those ones where you just knew if you'd have been in Epcot or you'd been in Magic Kingdom, the fireworks had been cancelled. And it would have been wasted. And we were sat there, and it certainly got such happy memories for us. And it's got it doesn't feel like a big restaurant. It actually it's quite a small personal place to go and eat. And like I said, the actual smells that permeate the air particularly before you've eaten, they just you instantly feel hungry. And I think that's perhaps one of the dangers, because you actually end up with the bread service, then you end up sort of seeing what else is there on the menu. But yeah, great. I love it. I think
you're right. I think the servers they provide what feels like quite an intimate serving environment, even though the restaurant probably seats 120 covers. I would have thought.
Probably more, because some of the booths are quite big as well. I don't know.
They probably seat.
I don't know, Claire.
I'll have to have a look in a minute and see if I can find out how many it seats. But it does feel more intimate than the environment would potentially suggest. And I think that you could probably have. I mean, we've had family meals there. I think you could probably have date night there quite easily. And you can plus the meal experience just by having a wander around the hotel as well, which is the two places that we will always go at least an hour early for dinner are Animal Kingdom Lodge and Wilderness Lodge, because we can lose an hour there very quickly. So those two environments are just so beautiful, whether you grab a drink or you just have a hang around. Can't fault it, really.
We've never done dinner at Sonar. We've done breakfast. And that actually used to be classed as a quick service, despite the fact that you had
sit down
waiter service. So it used to be on the quick service dining.
That's a good one.
Wow.
I don't know whether it still is, but it used to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, the food even at breakfast was lovely.
Especially the view also.
The view was gorgeous. And the menu, there's lots of things on there that I wouldn't mind giving a try.
I think I just want to go for the bread service.
You just want to go for the bread service?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind trying the chicken.
I think that's the one that swings it.
The bread service gets you there, and then everything else on the menu is just like,
See, weirdly, the bread service doesn't really do it for me. I'm looking at the accompaniments and dips and spreads, and I'm just thinking, no, don't like cucumber, don't like rice peppers, don't like mango chutney, don't like tomato date jam.
Becca, it's lovely. It's lovely.
So
it
I
really
thought
is.
the bread service without the accompaniments.
Yeah,
I'll have the
and
bread service.
If anyone's listening, if you ask your server as well, there is a secret house one that they do not put on the actual serving of accompaniment. And if you ask for the secret accompaniment, it blows your socks off. I've been led to believe.
Secret sauce number 10.
Yes,
what
and
is
not so secret.
It's just anymore.
It's volcano lava.
Yeah,
right.
That's the best way to describe it. Yeah.
Do not get me to try that.
You feel it.
You have to try it. You have to try it.
I don't do
You don't do spice. You have to try it.
Yeah, you get a crate.
Around November, I will try it.
Yeah, you get a crate of Dasani delivered to your hotel door afterwards.
No thanks.
But it
is some yogurt. It'll be fine.
It's not one we've done. We've not yet been to Kidani. We've been to Animal Kingdom Lodge. We've not been to Kidani. We don't drive, so presumably, can you get the bus all the way to Kidani, or do you have to change?
Best way to do it is actually get an Uber or a Lyft.
Yeah,
because actually, it means you can drink, obviously, but it avoids that whole kerfuffle with the bus. And I find that just get an Uber.
Yeah,
it just gets you straight in, dropped off.
Drop off at Jambo, and there's a bus that goes between the two. There's a small
or you can walk.
It's about a 10-minute walk.
Yeah,
it's 5 minutes.
Also, we've only ever been to Orlando in winter, so by the time we've actually got to Animal Kingdom Lodge and to Wilderness Lodge, it's been dark.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like with Kidani, you're kind of wasting a bit of the experience because we'd want to see the animals as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's partly why we've not done it. I have to say I do fancy the bread service, and apparently you can get the bread service in the lounge.
You can,
yeah,
and you can also get it to go as well. So a lot of the menu, because of COVID, they've actually changed the options, so you can now order ahead and pick it up to go. Which actually I had in the back of my mind, John, if we were staying on not we as in you and me, but we as in a guest. You know,
yeah.
If I was staying in a villa on the 192, you can cut down, whip over to Kidani, pick up a bread service down Sherbirth Road, and boom, you're home with your dinner. So it's perfect.
It's actually within touching distance. If you actually, I actually think you'd probably do that in 7 minutes.
I reckon it would be quicker to do that than to go down to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Challenge next time, guys. Challenge. Bread service challenge.
Yeah. Can I just add as well? I know, Becca, you mentioned this about breakfast, and we haven't done breakfast. I'm too much of a theme park person to give up my time. We
were staying at Kidani at the time, and breakfast stops about 7:30.
But they're still doing the breakfast, and actually, it's only $15, but it's only $15.
Yeah, it's a quick service.
I'd have the bread service for breakfast, to be honest with you. Why not? They'll do a paratha sandwich, right? Why not have a bread service for breakfast?
I'm just surprised. I'm surprised at how reasonable that is, just as a breakfast offering, when you're certainly within a place that's of that standard as well. So
you don't normally see like eggs Benedict on like a sort of quick service menu.
Quick service? No. Well,
Sammy, is it bringing you out in a cold sweat?
There's chicken.
Yes.
Chicken.
I had a quick look. The one thing that's quite disappointing is the only thing there that I would probably want would be the tandoori chicken that Becca mentioned, but they don't have it on the dinner menu. It's only the lunch menu.
Oh yeah.
So I'd try the biryani with chicken as well.
No, I don't like biryanis. So
the one thing I would say to you, that the actual service within the restaurant, if you sit there and you are unsure, and we have been in the past, and then the last time they'd removed something from the menu, so I said, well, you used to do this really lovely And she said, "Oh, we can still do that for you."
Yeah.
So it's not a case. It might not be on the menu, the recent menu, but they will go out of their way, and I think it is such a tight knit restaurant that they know what they do best, and they know that they can actually, provide for you. And I'm sure if you went in and asked for chicken nuggets, they would do it for you.
They do that anywhere. To be honest.
On the kids create your own entree, they do have butter chicken.
I don't really like butter chicken either.
Cheese pizza.
We're trying.
I don't like pizza.
Chicken soup. I've got chicken soup.
There's got to be chicken in the nugget variety.
Give me naked chicken and nothing else. I tell you what, John, the thing that I like most is the chickpea Walt and the aloo masala. Oh my goodness, I will eat everybody's that. You bring me the chickpeas, I can scoff it all. And the other people around our table often don't want that, and so I'm just like, pass me your little dishes because it comes in little dishes.
I love that.
Yeah, pass it over.
I'm just imagining Claire walking around the restaurant going, "Can I have that one?
Yeah,
that one." And that one.
But do you know what? One of the good things I will say. One of the good things about Sanar is if you're vegetarian or vegan, there is a lot on the menu that you can eat.
Certainly is.
And that if you're on a plant-based diet, it's a really great option.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a meat eater, even though there is loads of that. There's plenty of
options.
Yeah.
And the puddings look really nice.
We never quite get to puddings.
Even the kahir looks really nice though, and that's
coconut rice pudding with cashew streusel and saffron poached fruit.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Now, see, I'm now thinking bread service followed by pudding. I'm done.
You know something, Jill? I think there's a plan there, isn't there?
Yeah.
That's definitely it. Bread service, pudding, sauce.
Done.
No.
Right,
and
I've got
I
my
think as
pencil
well,
ready for scoring.
Your pencil's ready. I'm just gonna do one last thing because I know if I don't mention it, my wife will turn around and say, "Well, why didn't you mention that?" I said, but we've already mentioned about how good the servers are, and we are on one of our darkest Disney days, having had a rubbish check-in at Port Orleans Riverside. We went for a meal there, and I really do remember it like yesterday. But the server was just absolutely amazing, and the first line was, "Have you had a good day?" And we said, "No, we've had a rotten day." And told her what happened, and she just came back up with a bottle of wine for us. There you go. Let me know when you need another one. And it was just like, and when you think you don't get much for nothing in a lot of Disney restaurants, but again, it's the standard of the service. It's their go-to from the walking up to the desk at Sanar, because you get the most amazing welcome from the people on the desk. Yep. And like you said, Claire, the toilets next door are absolutely.
Yeah,
top of the list of Disney toilets.
I think they are probably the best ones on Walt Disney World property.
I think they're the nicest hotel toilets.
I want my bathroom toilets to be like this.
To smell like that. Oh my goodness, they smell so good.
See, there we go.
Which is not often. You don't say that about toilets very often, do you?
For all of the restaurants that we've covered and all of the food opportunities and all the time that we've been doing this, we've missed out that final voting part.
Do we include toilets in the theming?
Quality of nearest toilet.
That is an important issue.
We should have been scoring those.
Yeah.
Saying that though, but when we mentioned Blaze,
we
did say the toilets were quite far away.
We did. That would have been knocked down a couple of points for that.
Yes.
Like the plot, yeah.
So, Claire, do you want to start off the scoring? Because it then means that as you're doing the calculator maths type thing, it then gives you space and time. I know this from past experience. No, actually, I know the little trick. If you get your score done and dusted out of the way, it makes it easier.
It does make it easier. So, so menu. I am going to. The current menu is slightly different to the previous menu. They've taken away the braai option, which was really, really good. I'm assuming that's just because COVID supply, all of that stuff. But because of that, I'm going to take a point off and give it a 9. Value for money. I think it's we've paid out of pocket for it every time. I think it can be expensive if you go for a full 3-course meal plus wine or beers or cocktails. And it depends the experience you're going for. I think in terms of the whole thing, the value for money in terms of setting, atmosphere, servers, that kind of pluses it up for me. So I think the value for money isn't bad at all. I'm going to give it an 8. Individual items, I think, probably offer great value for money, such as the bread service. I think that offers incredible value for money at $19 plus tax. That's enough for 3 or 4 people to share.
Certainly is.
Or one hungry person. And the restaurant theming, I think, is beautiful. It's I understand, fairly authentic because Joe Roddy was involved. It's not somewhere I've been, but I think it's beautiful. So I'm going to give the theming a 10.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna take the hit from Sammy. Go on, Sammy. Tell us your thoughts.
Yeah, sorry, John. So if you haven't worked it out, I've never been. But looking at pictures and listening to you guys and stuff, for me the menu choice isn't great. It's not. But it sounds like they'd be pretty willing to, do whatever. But I'm still gonna, the current menu, my personal preference, it would be a 6 for me, John. Sorry.
Okay.
But but the theming looks great and the value for money for what it is looks really, really good. So for both of those categories, I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay. Let's go to Jill.
Yeah, I struggled a bit with this. We're not great lovers of Indian food. But having said that, I really do fancy the bread service and I do fancy some of the puddings. So I think menu choice, there would be enough things on there that I would want to try.
Go on, Ben. Tell us your thoughts.
Okay, well, looking at the menu, there's quite a few things that I think I might go for. Obviously, the bread service is high up there, but there's a few other things, especially dessert. So I'm going to give menu choices an 8. Value for money, looking at it, there's quite a few options there, and I think of other sort of sit downs that we've had before. It seems quite on the lower end of the budget compared to some others. So I'm going to give it a 9 value for money. And theming, especially if we're including bathrooms that are next door, it's going to have to be a 10 for me. Just it's just amazing, really is.
Yeah, it's a lovely place. Becca, what about you?
So menu choice, I like the look of the menu. I liked the breakfast menu that we had when we went. That has changed a little bit though, so that's a little bit of a disappointment that they've taken some of the bits on there away. So I'm going to give it an 8, just because I really like those sunrise waffles. They were waffles, by the way. Yeah. Theming is amazing. It's absolutely gorgeous if you're there, especially if you're there in the morning and you get to kind of watch the sunrise through those windows on the savannah.
Oh, beautiful, yeah.
It's beautiful. And even the inside theming as well was pretty spot on. So I'm going to give that a 10. Value for money. I think it's pretty good. I'm trying to remember other prices from other restaurants and I'm not coming up with anything. So I'm going to give that an 8.
Okay, that's interesting because we've got quite a lot to go at in this. As to be expected, I'm gonna actually put this right up there with. I know Claire, when it was your turn, we talked about Katsura Grill, and I gave that 10s across the board, and I felt that would be very difficult to beat. But actually, I think if I put them side by side, I would say that Sanar possibly, and I can't go beyond 10 for theming. So I'm gonna go for 10s all the way across. It's just such a lovely place, and actually there's not many restaurants on Disney property that continue to be that sort of that little hidden gem that not a lot of people know about it. It's that because it's at Kidani Village, it's set just that little bit further away. It's a little bit more awkward to get to. And so people decide, oh, well, so we'll stick with the ones in the main hotels. It is brilliant. And I wholeheartedly recommend Jill and Peter, if you get the chance, even if it's just to go up, you don't even have to eat. Don't even have to eat, but just get one of the Disney buses. Just go and enjoy the ambience of the place. It's just beautiful. It really is.
So I have the numbers. We have menu choices, a total score of 56. Value for money is coming out at a strong 59.5.
Wow.
And theming is a strong 65. So overall, that gives us a mark of 60.
Well done.
That's impressive.
I
That's
feel
really
like that
good.
might have beaten Katsura Grill, actually.
No,
I think Katsura was
61.
61. Yeah.
Katsura was
Right.
61.
Katsura's just
Goodness.
Oh,
Yeah, goodness me, that surprised me. Thanks guys, I appreciate that.
I'm enjoying this come Disney with me with the food because it's like it's planning our next trip.
yeah, absolutely.
Which one are we going for? Which one are we not?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, Katsura Grill's definitely gone on our list because of these
And ours.
conversations.
And
So,
ours.
yeah.
Smells on the list.
Okay, here we go with my third and final offering for my Come Disney with me. I've avoided the controversy of choosing parades and fireworks that have gone dark. So anyone who's thinking I was going to choose my beloved Spectre of Magic or Wishes will be disappointed. But on the day of Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary, I've only one choice for my experience, show or parade. And I've mentioned this place before. I think it's a great time to say it once again. It's something that I think anyone who enters any park in Walt Disney World should actually be forced to watch just to allow them entry and to actually understand why the magic of the place is there, who created it, and possibly why, when you actually understand the hardship that took place to actually build Disneyland in the first place, you'll actually truly understand the magic that encapsulates you in that Disney bubble. I use the word emotional attachment in so much of my words spoken and written about our shared happy place, but I want to take everyone to the film that concludes a walk through Museum of Disney Artifacts and Memorabilia and just ask you, all of you, come and sit beside me for one man's dream. It's just 15 minutes out your whole holiday. It's open to everyone, irrespective of age. It does have good aircon. And more than anything else, it makes you recognise, well, the whole place is there. It's a must-do, yet so many just walk past in the eager rush to Toy Story Land. So just pause and marvel in the magnificence of a film that shares the fall and then the rise of Walt Disney, and the impact that his brother Roy had in ensuring that the Florida project actually happened after his passing. It was a tough road that they both travelled. Their lives reflective of the times, yet the inspiration of the animation and then theme park ideas share that whole mantra of, if you dream it, you can do it. It's unmissable. And if I had the chance, I would be that cast member standing outside, making people come in and watch the film. The museum part of it used to have a little treasure trail for children, which allowed you to actually get your name in a guest book at the very end. Not widely advertised, but do speak to the cast members. I'm pretty sure that that will return in the future as well. You also got a nice little sticker that made you an honorary citizen of Walt Disney World. I know it's only the little things, but you actually then get to put your name in the guest book at the very end and recognise that you're not just there to get out of the heat of a day in the studios. You're there actually to remember why the whole place is there. There are times when Disney replaced the film for an upcoming trailer, and as you probably can imagine, that really does rile me rather much. But one man's dream returns, and as the very minute and hour we ever lose this film, we actually would lose the heart and soul of how Magic Kingdom and Epcot actually came into being. There's no other specific show or attraction that I would describe as a pilgrimage possibly accept seeing Cinderella Castle once again after all these times. But all of us have a bit of Walt in our own Disney journey. This film's just a reminder that it was all started by a mouse, and it is indeed something that we all need to watch to just understand one man's dream.
I'm gonna cry.
I feel like a round of applause is
Yeah.
needed.
Does anyone feel it's in the wrong park?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It should be the front of the Magic Kingdom.
I think weird enough.
They put it in Town Square.
Yeah.
Or put it in Epcot. You know, they're going to have that new Walt statue.
Yeah.
I think
Put
they
it
could
there.
do a nice, that would be...
Yeah.
A bit like they've got the
Something-
Epcot experience thing. They should have it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It
I
feels
don't care
as if
where
it
they
ought to be
put
Epcot-y. Yes.
Yeah.
Although obviously it should be in the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm going to.
sorry, Jill.
Sorry, I'm going to admit something now.
We haven't seen it.
Never actually seen it. We tried.
We tried.
But the first time, the timings
them
were
out.
wrong.
Same.
We spent time in the museum part. We had a good wander around the museum part, but the timings were wrong. We had a fast pass, blah blah blah, and we just didn't get time to do it. And the second time, it wasn't running. It was one of these trailers instead.
Yeah.
So we just haven't managed to do it. Sorry, guys. We will do it next time. Absolutely.
We will. We promise.
Yes.
But yes, we ran out of time
Yeah.
because we had a fast pass and a meal, so we couldn't do it. And then second time we went, boom, it
wasn't
was
running,
a trailer.
yeah.
It's really interesting because you know for all of the stuff that
but not the...
but for all the stuff that people put on YouTube and people actually share, I've found just one, and it's quite a grainy sort of recording. But it's just one person has sat there with a camera and recorded the 15-minute show. I won't give them a plug here because actually it's probably copyrighted, and I don't think it's probably Disney have probably taken down umpteen before.
Yeah.
But it's well worth seeing. Even if you've not seen it, just put it on your list.
I think they should also, I think we've said this before, John, they should make sure before you go into Walt Disney World, it should be watched. So whether it's something that should be on a plane or on a Magical Express that you have to watch.
I think the last time I said this, we were
Express on a loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Ben said that the last time I mentioned this, and I think we were on someone else's show, and that would be a perfect place
Have it
to
on the
actually
resort
just
TVs.
Yeah.
Have it available.
It belongs. Yeah,
Well,
it
now
belongs
that
out
you
there.
don't have Stacey on the resort TVs,
Yeah, that's true. Well, the closest thing that comes to it as an alternative is the Wonderful World of Animation fireworks, because they have a few minutes of Walt talking and right at the beginning. That's the only other thing that just
I think the
reminds me
Imagineering story has elements of it on Disney.
Yes,
Plus as well.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the same feel. And the thing about One Man's Dream is I'm never sure whether it's a museum, a memorial, or a celebration. It's kind of all of them.
Yeah.
And there's no way I can get through the movie without a box of tissues. I'm a mess within the first couple of minutes. I love the museum of all the artifacts at the beginning. I think it's incredible. They do change the end of it every now and again. They add some stuff to it here and there. I think it is just a snapshot into some of the Disney archives that are available in other areas. I wish they had more. I wish they did more with it. I wish there was somewhere bigger that they could bring in some of the archives that are sat gathering dust somewhere. I know on another show they talked about how they could make the NBA experience space used differently, and that was a suggestion actually.
There
Let's
we go.
make it
Good idea. Yeah.
what about a Disney archive? That would be incredible.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
So I just I think that I agree with you. It is a must do for us, all of us.
And I think it's making it accessible for more people as well by taking it out of a park.
Yeah. This is
very possible.
Because that would be a good
Maybe
introduction.
having it down at
to...
Disney Springs, I don't know, but it's I think it's really important.
There was a show on the cruises, on longer cruises. You get a show that is a live show that is very similar idea. It's a story of Walt and the story of the theme parks and things, and it's a very similar idea. So I think
Yeah, I think as well, though, Peter. I think this is the bit, and I'm with you, Claire. It doesn't shy away from some of the bits that possibly the Disney family wouldn't like to actually admit to. You know, it does
really
tell
difficult.
It does tell you how hard times were and how close they actually were to basically failing. At varying points before even theme parks were even thought of.
Yeah.
And I like that, because actually it does prove that whole essence of like never giving up and never actually, you know, these theme parks haven't happened by accident. They've happened because somebody had the foresight to understand that that's where people need that escapism from the humdrum of everyday life, and it's the reason why all of us are yearning to get back to the States. It's the reason why we've missed it so much in all of those times where we've not been allowed to go. It is just such a special thing, and I, like I say, everyone should be made to watch this film.
It's a truly inspirational story, and I think that's the bit that it always energizes me, and it always makes me just think about things in a different way. So it could be, you know, something in my own personal life, and I'll watch that and I'll come away and go, well, actually, hang on a minute, maybe what I need is a bit more resilience, perseverance, you know, imagination, whatever it looks like. And it inspires you to think differently. So I think that for lots of different reasons, it's an incredible piece of video filmmaking.
I mean, I've always considered the museum to be almost part of the experience.
Yeah.
So really, it can be as long or as short as you want it to be.
Absolutely.
You go in the museum for 5 minutes and then come out, or you could spend an hour in there and watch the 15-minute show, or you can just come in and go in and watch the.
Just go straight through and watch the movie. Yeah.
But I love looking around the museum, and I actually quite like that little bit at the back that shows what's coming.
Yes.
And where the company is going. So I think the last time we went in there, it had Galaxy's Edge
and Twistoryland.
Which was weird because Galaxy's Edge had just opened.
Yeah. But there was stuff there from Shanghai as well, and so you could see and it was just, you could see the way that time and effort was taken to create small models that are actually going to show us, just give us that little bit of what's coming up.
And the information on some of the placards as well. It's just so interesting.
Yeah, it's just got everything, hasn't it? And I think that's where, but again, that's where the actual trail that they've got for the kids who are doing it, actually that kicks in as well, because it engages even the youngest of guests as much as it engages sort of the adult who's been there many times before as well. So let's vote. Give it your votes, and we'll see how this comes out as well. So Claire, we'll start with you again.
Okay, so accessibility. I'm going to give it a 9 simply because it is inside a park and you have to have a park ticket. But other than that, it's accessible to all ages, all levels of mobility. And I think that it has a diverse level of media, whether that be physical, audio, visual. So I think it's really clever. Length of attraction, like Becca was just saying, it can be as long or as short as you want it to be. You can pick it up and put it down, pop in, pop out, or hang out there for an hour and a half if you want to. So I think that for me, I'm going to give the length a 10 because it is up to you. You choose your own adventure on that day. And the audio, I will say, is something about Walt's voice. It's just incredible. So whether that be the little snippets as you're walking through the museum bit, the little bits of audio that you hear, or the movie itself, it has to be a 10.
Thank you. Let's go to Ben.
Okay, well, do you know what? It's such a difficult one, I think, to score. Accessibility, like Claire said, about it being in the park, and a lot of people don't know about it. And it's one of those things with them having trailers for films, will put some people off. Sort of, I don't want to go in there. All there is a trailer, without realizing you've got all the bits before it, and then actually, if One Man Stream is on, you can see one of the most sort of amazing pieces of video. I probably going to give it an 8 for accessibility, because I think that if they removed the trailers, it would mean that people actually would know what it is. The length of it is perfect. Like you said, you can make for as much as you want, whether you just want to skip through and just watch the film, or whether you just want to sort of take bit by bit, or just nip in and nip out. It's I'm going to give that a 9, and for audio, it's a 10. Like I said about Walt's voice, it's just something that resonates.
Yeah. What do you mean? Becca, what about you?
So I really want to give it 10s across the board, but the accessibility, because A, because it's in a park, and B, because the film's not always there. The museum's always there, but the film's not always there.
Okay.
Is going to knock a point off, I think. So I'm going to give that a 9. But the length and the audio are both a 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Sammy, what about you?
Okay, for accessibility, I kind of agree with Ben. 1, you need to get into the park, and 2, I don't think the location is the best location that it could be in. So for that, I will give it accessibility an 8. For length, you guys are right. It's a choose your own adventure. You can go in for 5 minutes, or you can stay for hours. So it's a 10 for length. And audio, I don't remember there being anything super memorable about the general audio. So I'll give that a 9, because all the stuff with Walt in the movie is really good. So I'll give that a 9.
Okay. Jill?
Not having done it properly, I'm going to abstain.
Okay. Peter?
I'm going to disagree on accessibility. Lots of things we talked about, like Tower of Terror, you need a park ticket for. So just needing a park ticket, for me, doesn't make it any less accessible.
But isn't accessibility only on the experience?
Yeah, we don't have accessibility as one of the things for Tower of Terror. They've all got
No, I know what you mean, Peter. I think
but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying
is, I know where you're
is,
coming from.
Just because you have to buy a park ticket doesn't make it any less accessible.
No.
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
So I would give accessibility a 9.
Yeah.
Length, I haven't done the film, but I have done the museum, and I give it an 8. I'm sure that with the film, I would have given it a 10, but I can't because I've not done the film. And audio, from what I've heard around the museum, the audio is pretty good. I give it 7.
Okay. And then, without even having to ask me, Claire, I think you just put me down for 10s, because that's essentially the whole point of doing this is just actually to grab that whole thing of where you would like to just share with everybody listening, just a place that is just truly magical and truly memorable. And I hope by listening to what I've said, more people would just make time, would just put it on your holiday list. Don't be put off by the dowdy exterior, because it is not the greatest exterior build up to the building, but just go and have a good search, go through the museum bit, get to the film at the back, and go and just immerse yourself in it.
I think a lot of people miss it
amazing.
because when it opens, because you get in the park for 9 o'clock,
and
everyone's in the queue for Slinky, but it doesn't open to either 10 or half 10. And a lot of people have either done what they want in Toy Story Land, Toy Story Mania and everything, and gone to another part of the park before it's open.
I must admit, Ben, I think Disney have become worse for that over the past 10 years. It's not a recent thing. No. It's something that they've become a little bit.
If they can cut an hour back here and cut an hour
reluctant, and also one of the things that they did do is they actually, there was a point at which they said it was just going to go away. And the voices from the whole of the Disney community ensured that no, you can't do that. It has to return. And so they weren't allowed to just put that kind of lazy part of let's just put trailers on. And they've rolled back a little from that. I think in the past 3 or 4 years, they've recognised that people actually want to go and watch that film. They want to go and watch the reason why Walt created, first of all, Disneyland, and why he entrusted his brother to open Walt Disney World.
So, John, we were talking earlier about on the ship that you have to go and check into your muster station and check in on your phone to prove that you've done it. Do you think you should have to do the same at Walt Disney World? You should have to check in on your phone to prove that you've seen one. I think so.
Yeah, I think so. And if you haven't, you just get.
You can't ride Rise of the Resistance. You're not riding Galaxy's Edge.
Or you get that. You get to the tap style, and it just comes up with that sort of that red Mickey. You're just like, no, ding, ding. You're not getting it.
Definitely. I've got the scores. So for accessibility, it scores a 61. For length of attraction is a 66.5. And audio is a 65, which gives it a total score of 64.
Wow. High scorers this week, John.
No, that's
very,
good. That's
very John.
Good choices.
No, I'm impressed, and I'm more thrilled at the fact I've had the opportunity to share with all the people listening just 3 completely different experiences, and it's very hard. And I think, Sammy, you're still to choose yours, are you? It becomes more and more difficult. Yeah, but it's difficult. It's a difficult choice, and I think what you need people to understand is maybe those places that you've never done on previous trips, and I hope you go back and listen to some of our previous shows as to the rest of the Come Disney With Me that people have chosen, because it does help with your planning. It does help you to just get away from that sort of that rigid plan that you had from 2015 where it worked then. So we'll do this. We'll do the same. Change it up, and go and do something. But if nothing else, go and watch One Man's Dream. It's just amazing.
And let us know when you've done it as well.
Yes.
Do you agree?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're allowed not to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too right.
Not really, but
Maybe we need it as an entrance to anyone who wants to join the Wafflers Arms.
Yes, I was going to say our virtual
first question.
Yeah,
our virtual pub has never had a virtual fight. I think if somebody dared to say they didn't like One Man's Dream, I think would that be the occasion of the first virtual fight in the Wafflers Arms?
It could be the virtual ousting from the pub.
I think the Finding Nemo versus the Lion King is still going on.
I think
that will continue.
I can see Becca going full on Peggy Mitchell at that moment.
Oh dear.
All the Americans
cheers, guys.
Frantically Googling.
Yeah, I really enjoyed getting those things together, and it just once again stokes that passion for going back to the places that we all know and love. So, as a 50th show special anniversary present, we can actually share with you the exciting news that the borders of the USA will open in early November. We've waited as long as possible before the release date of our podcast, but as a present from our 50th show, we can actually now go to Disney World in November. Keep watching our socials for an exact reveal of the date, because Uncle Joe hasn't quite got round to telling us yet. However, it'll be on all our socials. It's the most exciting news. I'm absolutely delighted. Certainly for you guys who've had so many holidays booked, and then you've edged it forward and forward and forward, and then Jill and Peter are going in January. It's now becoming a bit of a reality. This is exciting. I'm absolutely buzzing for this. I think this is just the best thing that's happened in ages, and I just hope loads of people who are listening who want to get to Disney World from the UK in particular.
I just can't believe we can actually say Disney's happening next month.
Yeah.
That's
and it's such a brilliant thing, Ben.
I know we haven't got a date yet, but now we know we can see the end of it. We're at the end of the tunnel. The light's the other side, and all we can see is Main Street.
Light it up. That's what we want. And it's just, I don't know.
time this is released, we might even have a date.
Yeah, that's true.
I know. And
So check the description down below. There might be a date in there.
Yeah, we'll put a date in there.
And make sure you check our socials because you never know. There might be.
I tell you, we have left it as late as is humanly possible.
Yep.
So, but it's great news, and I think for everybody, it's that step forward that we've had, unfortunately, sort of taken away from us for so long. So, may the trip planning begin.
Yes,
in true earnest.
Oh, it already has.
Yeah, absolutely.
How many spreadsheets, Claire?
No, do you know what? This is really weird for me. So we hopefully are going to be able to go. That's all I'm going to say. But the ability to book things like ADRs and stuff, it's all really busy. And it's really busy at Disney World in November. Obviously, there's a bit of carryover from the 50th, but it just seems to be like properly crazy busy, which is completely unexpected. So restaurants are booked, you just can't really get many reservations. So that's for somebody who likes to plan a year and a half in advance.
Yeah,
potentially only having a few weeks for me I'm not going to lie, it's causing some anxiety, which is hopefully going to be outweighed by excitement.
Yes.
But yeah, it's bizarre. I'm quite looking forward to not having to stick to rigid ADRs, but equally I'm already thinking, where are we going to eat?
There'll be more quick service available than there are tables.
Yeah, we can try and go and visit Sunny.
You're going to
I would rather starve.
There was some news that did come out today. When we recorded, no, well, you wish. No, there's going to be 150 new food items for the 50th celebration.
Fantastic. As long as they're not in Starlight Cafe, I'm all right.
Well, one of them is
in Starlight Cafe.
Yes.
Just one.
Walt's chili fries, Mission to Mars burger, and 150 plus new food and drink items coming for Disney World's 50th.
150 plus.
Is that not just food and wine?
Okay. Here are a few of them. Cheese fries with Walt's chili at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Glimmer and Shimmer pineapple mousse at Hollywood Studios.
I'll skip that one.
Mission to Mars at Cosmic Rays Starlight Cafe.
God. What is it?
It doesn't say.
Doesn't matter.
And as we know, the colour theming for the 50th is iridescent.
Yeah.
So iridescent croissant donut at Epcot.
Oh,
that's not easy to say.
Please.
No, iridescent ice dream cone, Blizzard Beach. Chicken dinner cupcake trio. At
Chicken
Walt
dinner
Wilderness.
cupcake.
Okay.
It says trio, so
That's...
Oh my God, I need to know instantly what that is.
Is it like chicken
nugget
chicken,
and where I can get it.
chicken roast potatoes and
Two of my favourite things.
Gravy.
Gravy.
I'm hoping
Or gravy over the
these
cupcake.
cupcakes shaped like chicken dinner.
Oh,
items.
No, it won't be.
No.
It might be like a cupcake with a piece of like spice. You know, they have chicken waffles, don't they?
Yeah.
So they have chicken and waffles.
Let's
Maybe
just
it's
hope
like
so,
a
Claire, 'cause
polenta cupcake with chicken.
The other alternative just is not doing it for me. I must
Sounds a
admit.
bit weird.
It's
It
a
reminds
full
me of
wilderness.
the Friends episode where was it Rachel was making the trifle, and
Yeah.
it's got like the layer
Yeah.
of beef
But
and the
like
layer.
beef and stuff, yeah.
I tell you what they could do. They could be really smart with that, and actually it could be like a Yorkshire pudding with chicken, potato, and stuff in
That'd
it,
be
and sell it.
that'd be
That
great.
way.
Yeah,
That would be good, wouldn't it? Hang on, I'm just going to write that down.
As long as
I'll
it's
put it on.
not
Yorkshire
sweet
pudding
in this
wrap.
cupcake.
I'll put it in my next letter to Bob Chapek.
Yeah.
Dear Bob,
Of course.
I've got this idea.
They should do
Of
that
course
in the UK.
hopefully
It'll
by-
be better in the UK pavilion at Epcot than
I think it would
for
be. Yeah.
wilderness. Yeah,
Hopefully
Not
by the
pudding
time
wrap.
this comes out, we'll kind of know and we'll put it on the socials.
Of course, it could be chicken nuggets shaped like
Okay.
Cupcakes.
cupcakes.
Could be.
yeah.
Could be.
And
I think it's more likely
That's
to be a
big
cornbread
chicken
cupcake
nugget.
with some
And the
chicken.
last,
Yeah, I think
the
so,
last one is magical beacon cocktail found at many tables.
Bacon cocktail.
Beacon.
Oh,
A magical bacon cocktail.
Rather Americans.
Yeah, why
They
not?
like
You
bacon
know,
with
Well, it goes like the
Chicken
clothesline
cupcakes.
bacon.
Chicken cupcakes and bacon cocktail. It sounds ideal.
You can tell this is, I think, our longest ever show.
Sorry, I'm still totally imagining a cupcake with a sprout on top.
Oh God!
Is this going to be a Christmas dinner cupcake so they can create it?
Maybe it's cranberries. Maybe it's cranberry cupcakes.
Let's just stop talking about it before one of us gets ill.
Okay, if one of us is out there when this gets announced, because this is for the 18-month sort of celebration, so I'm thinking Sammy should be trying the chicken cupcake.
I think we want.
Yeah. If it's actually chicken or actually a cupcake, I'm down. If it's anything else, I'm not interested.
Yeah, if it's covered in gravy, I'm going to avoid it.
If it's both, do you know what? I'll give it a go.
Save a bit of time. It'll be
just for you guys.
You know, I think it should be something that should be blind taste tested.
Wonderful.
You sign up for a cupcake, and this is what you're getting.
John, I think it's
I think we need to wrap this up, guys. And actually, we've gone from all of that food on the Disney magic, from another conversation about the magnificence of Sanaa, and now we've got ourselves wrapped up in cupcakes galore. And actually, I think it's probably a better thing to say is that's all for this month. Just please go and have a little look on our Facebook group, the Wafflers Arms. Have a look at our YouTube channel. There's loads and loads of stuff on there. There's loads of stuff still to get put on there. It's changing, and obviously with the thought of actually getting back to the parks, there's going to be a whole lot more still to come as well. We are live every single Wednesday night on Facebook and YouTube, and we waffle on about so many different things as well, from Universal to Disney to food to shopping, the whole lot. Thank you for joining us for our 50th show. It's been an absolute delight to actually think that we are 50 shows old. And if you are listening on the 1st of October, please do come and join us live tonight at 8:30 UK time, 3:30 Eastern in the US, because we're live on YouTube and Facebook with special guests live from the parks. But to end the show, there's only one thing we ever have to say, and that is Waffle On!
Waffle On!